Monday Scrum.
Hello, welcome to the Monday Scrum, joined by the Dream Team, Aaron Woods and Brent Read. Did we enjoy the weekend, legends?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. I had my NFL fantasy draft on the weekend.
Ooh.
Was that at our game?
Was it your game? Well, it was afterwards. We went to your game, had a few beers, and then did the draft afterwards.
How'd you go in the draft?
Well, I thought it went really well, but I just got a review of my team, and it came up C+.
Ooh, so that's
Yeah.
and we got to catch up on Saturday as well.
Yep,
Bit of the Saturday scrum,
that's true.
hanging out together.
That was all right.
Were you
Yeah.
drinking while on air on Saturday?
No, this
no,
was
Sunday.
yesterday.
Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday.
okay.
Yeah. Woody played Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's something you would do, though, drink on
Oh,
air.
boy.
You got a
Never.
freebie. You got a freebie yesterday, didn't you?
No.
What, tickets to the footy for free?
In the box.
No, we've got to pay for it.
Stop it.
We've got to pay for it, I'm telling you.
Please.
You get well treated in those boxes.
Which
huh?
box were you in?
Oh, some random box.
Who got it?
Jacko organised it, Glenn. Yeah.
Oh.
But we've got
One
to
of the
pay him.
greats.
He's charging us.
Ah, stop it.
Probably put some extra cream
There
on
is
top too, no doubt.
way on earth that you paid for that.
Not a chance.
Well, not yet, but I think a bill's
Not
coming.
yet. See,
No,
there you go.
see,
Not
no.
yet.
There's a
bill coming.
Ah.
No. You
Well-
don't pay for anything.
Oh, that's a lie. It's a lie.
So he just said, I'll cover the coffees and got looked after. Didn't
Yeah.
have to pay for them at all.
I bought your coffee.
No, you
didn't
didn't.
buy
I did
mine.
No,
so.
you didn't.
Well, who paid for your coffee?
We got looked after. Wise looked after
No, I
us.
paid for it. It cost me $6.
Oh, did it? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, mate.
You didn't get me a coffee.
I'll send the invoice to Charlie.
Thanks a lot. I can't remember the last time you shouted me one.
Last week, maybe.
Anyway.
Week before.
Anyway, you know what, Reedy?
Yeah.
This is a really, really special day because
Oh.
your segment has been elevated
Wow.
to the top of the show.
Number one.
Reedy's Mail.
It's a bit of a celebration day for Reedy's Mail. It's a special moment for everyone here.
Do we have
on
the
this show.
champagne?
We should pop the corks because the great man, Aaron Woods, got himself another year.
Another year.
After,
Yes.
After playing
Thank you.
last
Well done,
weekend
Woodsy.
on Sunday,
Just had to
18
cross that
games,
white line, yeah.
another gig, and they go around again next year for the Mighty Dragons.
Yeah, well, we've got the extension there. It's up to us to take and sit down and have a think about it with the wife, and
Oh, okay.
no doubt I'll
What, you're
probably...
going to ponder in your retirement? Woodsy?
We'll go again.
Please,
How many
if you're going to
years
turn
you
your
got
back
left
on
in
that.
you?
No idea. Until you don't like rugby league, and I'm enjoying it as much as I did when I started.
Is that a relief, Woodsy? Like, did that? Were you concerned at all at some point during the year?
It's always in the back of your mind. I had to play, I think it was 18 games,
18, yeah.
throughout the year. And it's sort of, I didn't play a few. I got injured in a couple. I got dropped in a few. So at the end of the day, you always do think about it. And, it was good to get in before the end of the season because you can sort of have a bit of a break and know that, you can start back training with the Dragons.
Had you started working out what you might do if you didn't get the 18 games?
No, not at all, mate. I've been doing a couple of TAFE courses, so I'm just trying to get the tick the boxes.
He's going
and
to
get
walk
ready.
into a gig at Triple M full
apart
time.
from Triple M, obviously.
Hopefully
No, he's
this-
gonna be on
hopefully this
Megabucks.
podcast takes off and we can get our own show, guys.
We should.
There's an idea. We'll work on that.
Can we have? There won't be any money left after you get a full time deal after
That'll
playing.
be
Exactly,
Reedy
yeah.
takes most of it anyway.
Oh, please, battler.
What else you got?
On the Dragons, well, there's obviously the Ben Hun't situation's unfolding in the background, right? And they had Jaden Sullivan, a hooker, on Sunday.
Yeah, Bud played. Yeah, he
Bud,
played hooker.
yeah.
Yep.
Hooker's a real issue for that club at the moment. I think Andrew McCullough's got another year in his deal. There's been a bit of talk he may retire. And they've had a look at a couple of blokes. Jacob Little's one, who they've had a
The
look
Tigers.
at.
Yeah, I played with the Tigers. Yep.
The other guy they're really keeping an eye on and who's on their radar long term is Reece Robson, the Cowboys hooker.
He's a former Dragons
Yeah.
player.
Former
I think.
Dragon, played
Yeah.
20s there, I think,
Does he
alongside
wanna
a few
come
of
back
those
home?
guys. Well, we don't know yet. He's got 1 year left on his deal. On November 1, he's able to obviously sign with another club. And I reckon if he's still off contract or he's still he doesn't extend at the Cowboys by November 1, I expect the Dragons to have a red hot go at him.
You'd think he would re-sign up there. The form that I think he's the backup hooker from New South Wales
Yeah,
now,
but
isn't he?
he's an interesting one, right? Because early last year, I think, or was it this year? I can't
They
remember.
sort
when
of
it was.
offered him a bit up there.
They
weren't
offered him around. They were shopping him
Yeah.
around, and then suddenly hit form and took off. And
He was in
obviously-
the Origin squad.
He was
for
in the
game
squad,
3,
extended squad, and they've tried to extend him since then, but he's put off talks at least until after the season's over. And I know the Dragons are keeping a really close eye on Reece Robson, how the situation develops up there. So, and as you said, he's a Dragons kid. I think he was a Cronulla junior. I could be wrong. And then
yeah,
he
I think
played.
He was Cronulla. Yeah, I think he was Cronulla
I think he
junior.
played 20s with Blake Laurie and a couple of the other
Yep.
guys. So he knows a few of the
He
guys
played
there.
first grade at Dragons as well.
Oh, I
Yeah, he
forgot
played
about
first
there you
grade
go.
there, yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Maybe add that to your research
I
for next time.
should have done a bit more research, shouldn't I? I'd forgotten about that. That was a long time ago, though.
3 years ago.
Okay. He's
Yep.
kicked not that long ago. But he has kicked on.
He's
He's
going really
been
well.
outstanding this year for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I know they're desperate they are desperate
Well, he's
to keep him
kept
up there.
Jake Granville out of a spot up
He
there.
has.
So, he's a premiership winner, Jake
Yeah.
Granville, and to see how Reece Robinson's come on and he's playing 80 minutes now and he's been killing it.
It's been a real issue. It's a real issue for them moving forward, right? With McCulloch, if McCulloch retires or if he does go around again. Beyond that, I don't think there's a hooker coming through the system there, is there?
Yeah, we don't really have a backup hooker at the moment.
Yeah.
It sort of relies on Macca. Obviously, he's got the contract for next year, and I dare say I think he'll go around again. And Bud's, I know his favourite position is in the halves, so I don't think he wants to be playing hooker long term, but I know if he's getting games there, he's happy.
What's your gut feel on the Benny Hunt situation, Woodsy? Has he dropped any hints at training or what?
Nah, not at all. Benny Hunt's he's just like a country kid, just comes in, does what he does. He just G's up everybody. He trains hard, very vocal. No, you wouldn't even notice it's phased him.
Obviously, he met with Gus last week on Friday. It was Gus Gould, but there's a bit of talk. He met Justin Holbrook as well at the Gold Coast, and they've got a little interest in Ben Hunt. There's been
But you know what? If I was those clubs, then I'd 100% be looking at him.
Yeah.
He's a quality player, but the thing is, where are you going to play him? Because I reckon, you watch him play at rep level. How good is he when he plays hooker?
Yeah,
But he doesn't want to play
No.
hooker,
He doesn't want to play hooker?
No, I'm
Okay.
asking, is that...
I'm not sure.
I don't think he
I
does.
should
I
have
think he
asked him.
thinks
I should
he's a
have
half,
asked him.
isn't he?
Should have
Yeah,
told me
can
to
you
ask him
ask him?
today. I was with him
Yeah,
today.
ask him tomorrow.
I'll ask him,
Supposed to
Next
I'll
week.
ask him Wednesday. We've got tomorrow off.
Okay, we can
We'll
That could be-
re-
that could be
we'll
Woodsy's
re-record
mail.
the
we can do it
show.
as mail on Monday. Next Monday.
Woodsy's mail next Monday.
But there's been some reports about how much they've offered him, the Dragons. I think the report was they'd offered him initially $1.4 million extension.
He's also got that really good relationship with Hook.
Yeah.
So that's another big factor in it as well. I
But I
reckon.
don't understand why that's an issue, Woods, because I know he's got a relationship with Hook, right? And there was a report that he wanted that clause in the contract, and they don't want to give it to him. But if he leaves, he's not going to be playing under Hook anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, if he
Yeah.
stays and Hook is gone, well, it's a different coach.
But
if
might
he
want to stay-
leaves,
but
it's a
might-
different
but
coach.
But he might not want to leave. But if Hook's there, he could stay for less money.
That's the thing. So if he's deciding to stay for less money, it would be so that he
could be coached
he'd
by
want to
Hook.
be
But
guaranteed
you
that he
can't
could.
have a player dictating who the
Didn't
coach
Darius
is.
Boyd used to do that with Wayne Bennett?
Well, he'd follow Wayne around,
he'd
though. The
follow
club,
So there wouldn't be. Has that ever happened? A clause where
there's
you've
coach
got-
clauses, yeah, in contracts, yeah, where if the coach goes, I don't think it's happened a lot lately, but I know back in the day, I mean, Darius was a bit like that. If Wayne left, he would always go and follow Wayne.
Is
Right?
it a good thing to start allowing players to
No.
do that and to set a precedent?
No, it's a terrible thing, and they won't do it. The Dragons won't do it as much as they want to keep Ben Hunt. They won't. That won't happen. That won't happen.
All right. What is Ben Hunt worth then?
Well, they've offered him 1.45 for 2 years, but it's on a $9.4 million salary cap. Cap's going to go up at least 10% on that. So you've got to think that's another, and he's got a ratchet clause, another 140 grand. So it's closer to 1.6 over 2 years. It'll end up being maybe more. I reckon that's about fair to be
So
honest.
750 to 800.
Yeah, well,
That's what
you
it'll be
pay most
800
of your
plus, I
halves,
reckon.
isn't it? Isn't that what most halves get
I mean,
paid?
and
I'm not
you've got
sure.
to remember he'll be 34 in the first year of that extension.
The only thing with Hunt is that his body's in really good nick.
Exactly.
Like I've played with guys that they can't train week in, week out. They're limited in what they do in the gym, what they do in the field sessions, where he's got none of that problem. His body's in really, really good nick. So for a bloke, I play with him every week. I wouldn't say he'd have a body of a 32-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys who are in pretty good nick, Victor Radley, he obviously got KO'd at the
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, he wasn't in good nick
He wasn't.
on
wasn't
Friday
good
night.
nick. Well, they
right?
looked all right after the game, and apparently he trained today with the Roosters. Just at the end, he didn't
Trained
train
already?
He didn't train the whole session, but he was there at the end of training and got involved in some activities. So that's another positive sign for
We'd
the
have to
Roosters
just-
and Victor.
If he passes the HA protocols, he'd be right.
Oh, I don't think he'll play this week.
You don't think so?
It'd be a terrible look. I don't think you can
But
play him this week.
What is the? Is
Well, he's
there
got
a
to see an
minimum?
independent
But
doctor.
he's at the best club to do it at because
He
they've
is,
had,
yeah.
they've had a lot of concussions with Friend, Cordner,
Luke
Keary.
Luke Keary, Lindsay Collins.
Teddy had a bad
Tedesco's
one,
had a
didn't he?
couple, yeah,
Yeah.
But, and even Lindsay Collins with the Origin
Yep.
and the one just after it. So if there's any club that can bring someone out of a situation like this, I
Yeah.
think Radley's in safe hands there. So if he plays this week, I reckon he's 100% sweet. But if not, you can understand the Roosters are doing the right.
You wouldn't risk him, surely.
No.
But the only thing is, how good's that new stadium? And they need to win.
But
Well, they're going to
They're in. They're in anyway. They're in.
But if
just-
they win this, they'll secure a
Home-
fifth, which is a home final.
yeah.
It's a big advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's trained today. I'd be. He won't play this week. But, but he's obviously in pretty good nick, considering what we all saw on Friday night. It's pretty ugly scenes.
Are you going to be there at the new stadium, Reedy?
Well, you're bringing that up as a G up, aren't you?
No, I'm just
Because I was
asking.
supposed to be going to where was I supposed to be going? A core stadium, and I stupidly put my hand up for work.
So you've double booked
I
yourself.
double booked myself.
So you've got to
are
choose.
Are you going to take the one that pays you the most, or the one that's most loyal to you? Which job?
Oh,
are you
He's
gonna
going to
like?
do the
I would
selfish
never- I
job
would
and
never
go to the job
make-
at the brand new stadium.
Oh yeah.
Well, they are my employers, my main employers. To be fair,
So who's the sideline one for?
Triple M.
So he's supposed to be at a core stadium at 6 p.m.,
Oh.
but he wants to be at Allianz Stadium.
Why didn't you go to the 6 o'clock game and then drive over to Allianz?
Would I make it?
I reckon you got plenty of time.
Nah.
Get there for 20 minutes, late 20 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, I've double booked myself and caused Charlie all sorts of headaches.
Okay.
Apologies.
It'll be a cracker, but I tell you who won't be there. Lindsay Collins.
No.
4 weeks with that hip drop tackle. Do we think that was fair?
Oh, look, I think it's a hip drop, but I don't think it's a genuine hip drop tackle. You look at the one Patrick Carrigan did. That was a very bad one. He had his whole body weight into it. The guy was standing there, and it just went against the way the tackle was going. And I think it ended up breaking Hastings' leg, didn't it, or his ankle? The one on the other night, Eisenhuth did get injured. I don't know how many weeks he's out for. I think that might have taken into consideration a little bit, but it just wasn't your genuine hip drop tackle that we normally see. And these are very hard. And then you look in the game, I think Kafusi did one and didn't even get cited for it. I know it wasn't your genuine hip drop tackle, but either was Lindsay Collins. So this is a thing that the NRL is going to have to. This is the hard part now, is being able to stamp out every time there's a hip drop. You look at most sets of six, there's always one, or every couple of sets of six, there's always one that's close to a hip drop
Why
tackle.
does this suddenly come into the game, Woodsy?
Because
why
they're
do you
starting
think
to
it
crack
has?
down on it now.
But why do you think? Do you think
the wrestle, 'cause
Do
you
you think
got-
hip drops have been going on forever, and we've
They have
suddenly
been,
noticed it?
Yeah, because people are sometimes getting injured from it, or they're staying down, and we're trying to outlaw it now. It's been around for ages.
Sometimes it just
happens at training all the time. It's accidental. It's
yeah.
not.
I was
like-
going to
but
say sometimes it just
It's not. It's not like we go into 100% take them down, like land on the bottom of the legs.
Yeah.
It's just little levers that you probably talk, and then sometimes when you're wrestling, you can go one way or the other, and you just get yourself in an awkward situation.
So you're saying maybe 4 weeks is too harsh?
I think it's a bit harsh for this one.
Do you at training now? Then when you do your tackle technique, do you do anything to? Do you now compensate for that? Do you
Yeah,
do
so
anything at
before we
training
used
to avoid?
So sometimes we, like you said, you'd come in from and try to get both legs.
Yep.
Sometimes now we just lift one leg up.
Yep.
And then that's how you sort of get the two guys up high. And then instead of falling at the back of the legs, you lift up one leg and try to drive them to the side, because you're not going to get yourself in a situation.
Yeah.
But then that can sort of, then you can do a wishbone tackle there.
Yeah. Or
So
you can flip them on their head.
flip
even.
them on the head, you get that, you can go above the horizontal. It's a thing in the game. There's always going to be a bad outcome sometimes, if we don't. But that's where you got the two guys up high that are trying to help you in that situation. But when you do a genuine hip drop tackle, they can go bad, and as Carrigan did early in the year.
I think 4 weeks is a bit harsh.
There was no intent for that
No.
one. I reckon if he doesn't stay down, if he gets up, plays the ball, we don't talk about it.
What's he's out for 4 weeks? I think.
Yeah, it was,
Isn't it?
accidental.
So-
I didn't mean it. But then, like I said, look at the Kafusi one.
Yeah, but I reckon if you look at the Kafusi one, I saw the NRL's explanation for that, and that is that he didn't land on the legs; he landed beside him. If you look at that photo, he's not on his legs. He's on the grass. He hasn't actually landed on the back of his legs. His upper body has, but not with his.
But do you remember the one earlier in the year where Cronulla played against Melbourne Storm down there as well, and Pappenhausen got done with Alex McInnes? He made a tackle on Pappenhausen and got penalised and charged for it, and then nothing happened. There's so many different ways of these hip drop tackles that are coming in. You either, as soon as someone goes down there, you penalise it and keep away from it, or what we're going through now is some are getting penalised, some aren't. Well, there's going to be so much conversation around it.
Well, as the great Brent Read always says, there's no such thing as consistency.
Exactly.
There's not.
right.
There never
No.
is. It's impossible.
I
It's
tell
an
you, there's-
impossible dream, Em.
And there's not consistency at the Broncos right now, I'll tell you that. Another absolute thumping. And Kevy Walters
That was a good
going...
segue by you, wasn't it?
Thank you very much. Was going absolutely mental in the sheds after the game, which you'd expect
Yeah.
when now their top 8 spot is in jeopardy. have to win next week and hope that the Raiders lose to the Tigers. Apparently, according to Ben Dobbin, some of the Broncos weren't happy with the way that Kevy spoke to them after that. And the likes of Gordon Tallis, Steve Renouf have come out and slammed the players for being too soft. Where do you boys sit on this?
Oh, mate, you wouldn't want to be in our sheds after a bad loss. Some of the things the Hook says, we're grown men, you know. You take your frustrations out. We always say in the sheds after the game, we speak about what happened. We reflect on the game. You know, obviously, not every game's going to be what you want. You know, there's always disappointments in games. You know, what you practice all week, sometimes that doesn't happen on the weekend. And that's that one, you know, inner sanctum bit where you unleash, you know, you call a player out or a coach calls you out and you got to put your hand up and say wrong, whether, you know, you like it or not. It's just part of being a man and owning up to what happens on the field.
They do look cooked, though, the Broncos, don't they?
I told you last week, Origin plays a massive part.
It's cruel them, and they're in a real hole, and I tip them every week because I'm a Broncos fan, but they're killing me because they've cost me the tipping comp the last couple of weeks. I'll tip them again this week, but against your mob. But there's so many ex-Broncos there who just they will get up for and they will love to knock them out of finals.
Very excited about it. They've already, you know, we spoke about it. You know, I think Hook, our coach, is the next coach up there.
Sacked by them.
Yeah, Hun't, McCulloch,
Maguire,
Moga, Mollos, Sewer.
Yeah.
Mate, there's a lot of boys that have been up there in that system. And if there's one game that you really got to go up for, you know, a lot of people say that, yeah, we're not in the top 8, but this is a massive game for us, and it's going to be one that the boys really will live for.
Will they enjoy do you think they'll enjoy knocking them out of finals contention?
Well, I think a bit of both. They'll enjoy it, but they'll also be sad at the same time, you know, especially the guys that have been juniors up there. It's a club like, you know, like with the Tigers, you know, I was happy we beat them yesterday, but then you sort of feel sorry for them. Not that you feel sorry that we won, but you just, all the effort the boys are putting in and the fans, and you just feel that you want to see them go well, but just not against you guys.
Yeah. It's funny with Kev, though. At one point during the year, we were talking about him being coach of the year, and now suddenly he's under the pump again.
So, you know, the other thing I was going to say, is that a pass mark for them, where they're at?
No. I don't. Well, someone asked me this yesterday, and I said, if the Broncos miss the finals, it's never a pass mark. I know they've been rubbish the last couple of years, but when you're at the Broncos, the minimum expectation is finals footy.
Someone I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Payne Haas up there.
He's been off.
Yeah, but all you guys that come out and absolutely give it to him, just let the bloke play footy.
What do you mean?
Everyone's just been into him each week, and
he hasn't been playing as. You know,
there's a lot on his mind.
You want the big money,
mate.
You got to play better.
Yeah, I know, but there's been a lot on his mind. You know,
What's been on his mind?
Oh, obviously he's had all the. You know, he played Origin. He got hurt. He's had double shoulders, AC joints. They're tough to play with. He plays big minutes every week, and you know I've said it in the past. A young front row playing that many minutes each week, he was carrying that side the last 2 years. It weighs down on you. It's such a long season, and taking Patrick Carrigan out of there, Patrick Carrigan helps Payne Haas out so much with the load, and now you stop Haas at the moment. You stop the go forward of the Broncos.
Do you reckon they'll try and force him to sit out the Kangaroo Tour, the Broncos?
I reckon, depending on how bad his AC joints are, if he has to get surgery, I think
then you'd have to sit it out, surely,
exactly,
and put your club first.
You always got to put your club first in those situations.
What about the Selwyn Cobbo situation then? Apparently it was Selwyn's decision. He wanted to sit out the match. You talk about pressure, and you're saying, so what? Payne Haas should just soldier on. And
for me, I would have made Selwyn just give him a break from training and just come to captain's run and play the game.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not in the right frame of mind, though, Woodsy, do you think he's a bloke who's had a big year? And I don't know what sort of bloke he is, right?
We're paid to be football players.
I understand that, but maybe he's a sensitive soul. Maybe they were worried that he wouldn't be able to handle it if he played. And I don't think he's been that good lately either. I think he's struggled for form.
I think the head knocks really struggled him from Origin. That was a big head knock, and you've seen him, the way he went down and he went limp straight away. So could be the first time he's been knocked out in his career. And, you know, when blokes get injured, it does take a while to come back from those things.
And Payne and him are a bit different. Payne's played, you know, a couple of years of Origin now. He's a bit older. He's on huge money. He's, you know, in the media basically suggesting he wants more money. So there's a difference there because Selwyn's still on his old contract. He's not on big money, Selwyn. He's just a kid, really. I mean, Payne's...
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Reed, we're paid to be rugby league players.
Yeah, understand that.
So I don't get why you'd rest the kid like that in a situation where you need to be winning.
Because he done something he wanted to play, would he? So what are you going to play? A player book who doesn't want to play?
But how,
But was there a way perhaps to get him to have that discussion and for
Exactly.
a few weeks lighten his load?
Well, don't you think they would have? I imagine they would have done that. I mean,
tried
Ben
that.
Ikin's not a
Yeah.
dope. I'm sure Ben would have spoken to him about trying.
and that was a
to
massive
work
game
their
for
way
them in
around
the
it.
context of their season.
I understand that, but that says probably how bad his frame of mind was that
Yeah.
they didn't play him in such a huge game like that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see whether he gets named tomorrow now because they need him.
So does that and the other thing I think about as well, 1 week ain't going to change your mind.
Well, maybe you just need to freshen up. Maybe you just need a week off to freshen up.
Yeah. As a winger.
Anyway, there's bigger dramas than that up there. I mean, there's all sorts of drama going on up there. Apparently, the players
What
are
else?
off.
Yeah, what else?
Players are off, Kevy, and
And what else? What else has
some
happened?
Some of the other assistant coaches.
What are you laughing at?
That was a bit of drama, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know the drama.
Can you tell us the drama?
Inform us. Should have been Ready's mail.
I don't know if it was true. I don't know whether we should say it.
Something
If we
was
don't, it true.
drawn on a car.
Of an assistant coach,
Yeah.
allegedly.
What, at training or at the game?
At training, I think.
What was it?
I
do you
don't know.
say it in a
I don't know what it
PG?
was. I don't know what it was. You're telling the story, Em.
A body part was drawn.
Franks and sausages. Is that it? Franks and
Yeah.
beans, sorry. Franks and sausages. Wouldn't.
Anyway, so it's not all hunky-dory in Broncoville. It's a big game for them. They need a win.
Oh, when you
Massive.
lose. But you know what? When you lose, everyone's looking for reasons why you lose. And as soon as something comes up, they're going to pinpoint something straight away. So it probably wasn't even one of the players. It was, they get all the fans going to all the training sessions
Yeah.
up there. So who knows?
Yeah, could have been anyone.
It's easy to point the blame when you lose. When they win, what if that drawing was there when they've been winning?
But I understand what Gordy and the Pearl are saying about the players. You know,
Well, mate, 100%.
players are allegedly arcing up about Kevy and the way he spoke to them. I mean, they played rubbish the last few weeks.
One of our biggest things at our club as well is Hook always says, you know, when you walk in the room, take your ego out of it.
Yep.
You know, so we all speak to each other like men. And if it's one bloke calling out someone or one bloke praising someone, it's just what happens. You got to be honest.
You sprayed anyone this year?
Not really.
Who's given you the biggest spray in your career?
Heaps of people. Todd Payton.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was an actual player when I was playing with him, yeah.
What'd you do?
I bid in at marker against Manly at Central Coast, and next stoppage of play, I've never bid in a marker ever again, especially when I thought he was around.
What about a coach?
Probably not individually, but as a group, we've had a couple coaches give it to you. Fano was pretty funny. We won a game, and I think we won 33-32. And you walk in, lucky we got that one, that win, boys. And next thing you know, he's just absolutely give it to everyone. He probably singled out everyone in the room, and then he's kicked the top of the esky box off. And poor old Mark Noakes, who normally whacks the esky, starts to sing the song. We didn't get to sing the song that day.
Were you coached by Craig
Craig
Bellamy?
No, I haven't been coached by
No,
Bellamy.
okay.
No.
He'd give some good sprays,
Yeah,
I
he
reckon,
would.
Belly 8, wouldn't he?
He certainly would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on the end of one of those.
I reckon
No.
he gives more of a spray in the box than what he
Yeah,
does.
maybe.
You got to be measured with how you do it.
Yeah.
All right, to finish off with, what about the Sharkies? Looks like they'll be getting that home final, if in fact they do finish second.
Yep.
So capacity is what, 11 to 12,000
11
there
and a
at
half or
points
something,
there?
yeah.
So opposed to the brand new Allianz, but you pretty much, well, you never guarantee to win, but significantly helps their chances if they're at Shark Park.
I could not care what the NRL think if they wanted to make revenue or whatnot. If I was the Sharks, I'd be playing at the Shark Park every day of the week. You're pretty much guaranteed at 8 to 10 points there when you're a Cronulla player. Teams hate going there to play, and they've earned the right. They've finished second, or if they win, and I think if the Cowboys... No, it doesn't matter. Even if the Cowboys do win, they still stay there, don't they? Because they're second at the moment
they're
already.
second at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, they've earned the right. They've had a really good season, so they're going to finish second. So they deserve to be there. I know we've got a really good stadium, the new Allianz that's come in, but if Cronulla want to play at Cronulla, they deserve to be there.
The NRL's lucky they're going to play the Cowboys because if it was a game against a local Sydney rival and it was at Shark Park, you'd be locking out 10, 15,000
Doesn't
people.
matter. If I was Cronulla, I'd be playing it there because it's more chance of them winning.
In that situation, though, I reckon the NRL need if they were playing a Sydney team, and you're locking out that many people. Say it was Parramatta, right? Who've got a big fan base. If you're locking them out, the NRL I would have thought the NRL would have to move. They won't move it,
They shouldn't.
But
move
I
it.
would think they should.
But this is the bonus that Cronulla get by finishing first or second.
Yeah.
Well, have
Otherwise,
a
what's
bigger
the
ground.
No, well they're trying to. They're
well, the
building something
government's
there.
pulled the money.
Okay.
Mate,
Tough.
they've earned the right to
Yeah.
be there, so I would not be budging if I was
They'd be
Cronulla.
fighting tooth and nail to have
Exactly.
it there.
Yeah. There's no chance
Well,
they'll
they
be
should
moving.
be. I agree. But
Yeah.
I think if it was a game we had to lock out 10, 15, 20,000 people, they should move it.
Watch it on TV. Listen to Triple M.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Listen
Yeah.
to Triple. We can do both at the game. You can listen to Triple M and watch the game.
That's it.
Live, live.
You can.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
All the time. All the time. Especially when I'm on.
Well, obviously, because you're on air.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah.
He records it for later on.
But, they deserve it. But I just think with that
So
ground,
why is there a bit of conflict with them playing there?
because the ground's so small, and they haven't got, they're playing double headers with the women's games, aren't they, or not?
Yeah, it's
But last year they played women's games at Waikato. Why couldn't they just move the game to there?
I think the issue was they don't have two separate dressing sheds.
Yeah, but at Cronulla they've got like a room behind the grandstand, which they could turn into that.
Well, I think that's what they're going to have to do.
well, that's what they used to. They used to put the 20s out the back there.
Yeah.
they'll just have to do it.
Yeah, it's a
The
bit,
Sharkies deserve
Mate, if
it.
I was Cronulla, I'd bring in a tent just to make I'd put the away side there and let the girls use the other spare
oh,
shed.
that's a good idea.
Ooh.
Yeah,
a good idea.
I'd treat them just make them hate being there.
Yeah. Is it a tough place? It's a tough place to play. Why? Why is it such a hard place to play?
As a Cronulla player, I love playing there. It was one of the best. The fans, they get right up on top of you. They give it to you. It's always, most games I played there when I was a home team, it was always wet, windy. Teams used to hate coming out there and playing. And I don't know, as a group, as a players, you just lift. You go in there, you get to use your own locker. It just feels like home for you. When we played at Cogra, it just didn't feel at home for us. And yeah, like you said, you get the sides, and I don't know, it just feels like the field's different. You got all the Sharks fans right on top of you. You look at teams like Melbourne's record there; it's nowhere near as good as what they are at other grounds, and they just tend to suffocate teams there.
Interesting.
That's where Cam Smith got sent to the bin, isn't it?
It
Shark
was,
Park?
yeah. How
Brendan
good.
Smith as well.
Yep.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
just
see?
not a happy hunting ground
No.
for
You
them.
feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, good stuff. Reedy, I know you've got to run. We'll let you go, and we'll
He's a
see
busy
you.
man today.
And then we'll see you at the brand new Allianz Stadium. You stuffed up everyone's roster. We'll just work around
Sorry
you
about that,
because
yeah.
you're deciding which games you want to do.
Sorry.
So enjoy that. Woodsy, good luck for your last game.
Thank you very
and
much.
knocking out the Bronx.
I'll see you next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring some Woodsy's mail, all right?
Yes.
We look forward to that next week on the Monday Scrum.